Hey guys, today I'm going to be making a video on Group Manager. So yeah, let's get started. So I'll have the link. So this is when there was this big what is it called, protocol hack before build tools and stuff. And there was the protocol hack still, which allowed 1.7.10 and 1.8 players to join, but 1.8 features weren't actually implicated yet. You would go to this page right here, and you would have these links, and this would be how you would get essentials. You would go here, which would take you here, and then you would download these. But since we don't have this, we're not working with the Snapchat. We're working with Snapshot protocol hack. I mean, my bad. We don't need these ones. We need this one, the one from the actual website. And I'll have this link in the description below. And so yeah, you would need these. So you would hit the little plus next to it, and those two. Then you would download. You would click on the name to download it, or you can just click over here to download the entire zip. But I'd rather just download them separate, so I don't have to unzip them. You would download Group Manager. You would need it for Group Manager. This is a Group Manager for the permissions itself. That's about it. But you would need essentials. I don't know about these four, if you need those for that. I'm guessing you need this because Group Manager has to do with chat formatting, and you would also need this, I'm guessing. So you would need these two for sure, I'm pretty sure. And you would, just to be sure, you would just get all 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5, and get this. I already downloaded it, so I don't need to download it. And it's right here. And like I said, to get the plugin, to have plugins on the server, you would just go to the server. I moved the server, and then you would go to plugins and just drop them in. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, because there's Group Manager here. Then you would run it. I'll get back to you after it starts running. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, it all started. And since I have plugins this time, you see it says this plugin loader, and then it loads these plugins, and this is for essentials, UUID conversion. But since I'm the only, it says it may take a long time, like it did on my public server, because I had a few people. But it was just me on the server, so it's probably already done. It'll say it down here, something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but it'll also say that all the plugins that loaded over here. As you can see, it says Group Manager, bucket permissions updated, and everything, and it says done. Now we can type in stop, let it stop, and you click to continue. Okay. Now we will go to the plugins folder, Group Manager. Essentials, you don't need to worry about this, at least now, at least not yet. I'll do a full extensive tutorial on essentials later. Group Manager. Okay, first of all, let's go to config. Global groups, I'll explain that later. Backup is just backup of the permissions, I guess. I don't really use it. And worlds is where you would, like, over here. Say you had all the world, like a bunch of worlds in here. Worlds, and then there would be like prison, creative, factions, mini games, plot world, create, stuff like that. So you would go to the world for the permissions that you want, and you set like the groups, groups in here. I'll explain that later. I'll explain that after I explain this. So you would have, like I said, all the worlds. You would go here, world, groups, and users. Users, you don't really have to worry about that, but it just says what player is what thing rank. You don't have to worry about that. These are just the default things. You don't need to worry about that. Can I get that? Groups, it says groups, but it's actually permissions. You would have all the groups in here, and all the permissions. Say moderator and inheritance. I'll explain all of this later. I'm just showing you how you have multiple groups. So you have like owner, you would copy this, like copy it, paste it, and you could change this to some, author, whatever, sure. This means all permissions. Default, false. That means that when the player joins, is that going to be the default rank? No, you don't. Obviously, don't want that there. A dash before the permission means not that permission. So you would have apostrophe, star apostrophe, and then the minus Spanish dot star. So even though you have all permissions, you don't have the vanish permission, so you can't vanish. And that's a command that comes with Essential, by the way. Okay, Control Z all. Let's keep that open. Config. So here's all the worlds. Like I said, there would be all the worlds in here, right? But wait, there's no world nether and world end. That's because over here it explains that world is the parent of world nether and world end and all unnamed worlds. With that, basically what it means is world, all the permissions in world currently. If you say in world you had the permission to do, like default players had the permission to do /vanish. Now if you were in world nether or world the end or any of the other world that aren't named aren't listed in this config, then those worlds, if you were in the default group, then you would have the permission to do /vanish. Now say I had more worlds. I don't, because I don't have another plugin that you would need for multiverse. So let's copy this. Well, first of all, you wouldn't want that. Actually, yeah, keep that there. Copy it. Erase, enter. Erase. Yeah, you would always have to remember. This is a YML file. You always have to erase to the beginning, or else it'll say in the console it'll be like, no, something's wrong, and it's going to delete this thing. And also something I forgot to mention. Every time you update permissions, always in the console do /manload. Well, in the console you don't need /, but you know what I'm saying. You do the command manload. Okay. So now, say we had creative and we wanted say we had skyblock and we had the skyblock spawn in one world and the skyblock itself in one world, and you wanted the same permissions for the same groups in both of the worlds. So you would have, say, it doesn't matter which one you put as the parent. It doesn't really matter, but I just like doing this like that. So skyblock. Obviously you don't want this because that's a duplicate as you have right here, and you wouldn't want this or this. But I'm just gonna keep the first one because I'm gonna rename this. Name this. Let's say skyblock like this was the name, not the alias. With the multiverse you can have aliases. Not the alias, the name. Like the world name in here, in the folder. Like right here. Right here. World _ nether, not nether or something like that. Okay. So over here, that's the name of our spawn world. Now let's say skyblock void is the name of our game world that has people that are actually playing in it. Let's put this here, skyblock void, and then let's add users and groups. Let's have the same permissions with groups. Groups is permissions, same permissions. Users, do you want the same people who have say donator rank on skyblock the spawn world? Do you want it the same ranks on skyblock void? In this case, yes. But say you were what would I do? I can't really think of an example right now. But say you didn't want player 1 to have donator in both skyblock and skyblock void, just skyblock. Then you would just erase all of this, and then it would just have the same permissions for the groups. Now, say we had users only, but not groups. It's kind of confusing, but I don't think that'll work. Like, So people would still be in the same groups in the other world, but they wouldn't have the same groups. See what I'm saying? Like, they would donator would, if you're donator in skyblock, you would be donator in skyblock void, since we don't have groups over here, so it doesn't copy the permissions of skyblock, you would have specific permissions for skyblock void and skyblock. But that's not what we're here for. You would have groups here. So you would have another folder for skyblock, and like over here, you would have skyblock over here, this one, the spawn one, and then you would go there, and then you would have the permissions in here, right? And then whatever permissions and groups you have in this world, in that folder, it would be the same permissions for these. if you had this. But if you didn't have this, it would be 2 different permission sets. But that's kind of useless right now. Then you would only have the same users. But there's really no point in that. You would have like, say donator had /vanish in this world, donator didn't have /vanish in this world. But we don't actually need this because we don't actually have a skyblock world. And all unnamed world, that just means any worlds that aren't listed in here. I think I already said that. But it would have the same permissions as world. Okay, we didn't really add anything, so we don't really have to save. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now we're in the permissions for world. Like remember here, world and then groups. Let's see. Default, yes. Let's name this noob. Noob. Control S. Control S is save. Control Z is undo. Control Y is redo. Okay. Default is true. So when the player joins for the first time on the server, the rank that they get given is noob. And like say you accidentally messed up and copied like say you copied this one and then pasted this and forgot to change this back to false, then it's like call this noob 2. It would when a player when the server started in the console, it would be like, wait, I found 2 default groups. So then it would be like, let's override it with the second one. So this one will be disregarded. This would be false. So then the player who joined for the first time this would be the rank that they got when they joined first, noob 2. Just remember not to do that. It's kind of annoying. I did that once, and it took me a few minutes to figure out what was wrong. Okay. Permissions. You would find this inside, say, another plugin on their bucket page or like their plugin page. You would find their permissions on it. Like if the group didn't have any permissions, then it would be like that. But if it does have permissions like this, in this case negative permissions, it can't do /kill with bucket commands, then it would be like that. But if it didn't have permissions, it would be like that. What else? Inheritance. Let's say builder has the permission I don't know, essentials dot vanish dot star. Now let's say we're too lazy to list that permission in here. Like, so much work. Copy that, erase this, paste it, too much work. So let's just get the permissions from builder and give it to moderator. And then we can also add more permissions. So if we had any permissions here that builder doesn't have over here, then moderator would have, say, essentials dot I don't know, fly. They would be able to fly and vanish, but builder would still only be able to vanish. Inheritance means that it'll take all the permissions from builder and just give it to moderator. Now let's get rid of that because we don't really need that. Okay. Like I said before, this means apostrophe star apostrophe means all permissions given, and that little dash sign before vanish dot star means that they don't have that permission. But if you had op, say you had pex, I don't really like it, but pex ignores all op information. So if you're op, it doesn't matter. You would still get the permissions inside the permission thing. And I don't like that because of other things though. So this one, if you were op and you had owner rank, even though it says you don't have the permission to do vanish, you still would be able to do it because you're op. I like that. Okay, let's do prefix. You can do color codes. Let's see. I'm gonna go find some color codes and be right back. Yeah, here's the color codes. I especially like this picture. I'm not gonna give a link to it. Just search Minecraft color codes on Google, and it should be right here. I don't really always remember them. I just like remember my favorite ones, and A and B and 2 and 1, stuff, colors like that. But I don't remember all of them, and I remember an F and E. Okay. So as I was saying, you can have color codes in the prefix. Prefix would be like, say you said this. Say you said hi. Like your username was player1, and then this was text. Like, you know how in chat it's like player1 set, like colon. Say he said mu. It would say that in chat if you had no prefix. But with and4, I think that's, what color was that? And 4 is dark red. Like this, it would be and 4. But in chat, it wouldn't say and 4 player 1. Player 1 would just be in dark red. Now, say we had the prefix as and 4 owner. Let's do and 1, right? And 1. Yeah, and 1. So and 1 bracket and 4, and if you have two colors like this, it overwrites the first color. So right now, basically what this is saying is and 1 dark blue for the bracket, and 4 dark red for owner. And now let's do and 1 again for closing bracket. And I like how it says like where the bracket starts and ends in Notepad++. Okay. Now with this tag, this. In chat, when he said mu, it would be like that in chat. It wouldn't have and 1 and 4 as I explained before. It would just be like dark blue bracket, dark red owner, dark blue bracket. And then it would be player 1. And he said mu. I don't really use prefix, but, suffix, but you can have it. I don't really like it. It would be like right here. So let's see, and a mu. That's like, still mu. That's light green mu. So in the suffix it would be like and a mu. Of course I wouldn't say and a again. And it would be like owner, player 1, mu, and he said musers. Let's see. That's basically how suffix and prefix works. I don't really use suffix. Build. Say you had, well, I don't think I've ever seen anything with build, except I think the only thing that I've ever seen use build require you to change build to true for default rank or any other ranks would be Townie. I don't use Townie though. I use factions. I like it a lot better. So build, if in Townie, if you had build and false, it wouldn't let you build, and it would be like this happened and that happened, and you wouldn't be able to build basically. And you would also need a permission from Townie to let you build, like Townie.wild, I think, Townie.wild.star, I think. And then build would have to be true, but I don't use Townie, so that's fine. Okay, I think that's it. I don't really need to show you, and I don't think there's anything to show you in game. Not really a big deal. I think you could understand from here. But yeah, I don't need this. No, I don't need to save it. So yeah, I guess that's it. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain global groups. Let's go back there. My bad. World groups. You know how it says inheritance G:\group manager _ default? I don't really use global groups, but basically what this is saying is global : group manager _ default. It's saying get the global group manager _ default right here, and that has the permissions these. And like I said before, inheritance means it has the permissions from this group, and it has this permission or negative permission. So you could, I don't really use global groups, but I just keep it at the default ones from that group manager gave. I don't really see a use for it, unless you're like super lazy and didn't want to copy a few permissions every now and then for new plugins and new worlds and stuff. But I don't really use it. It's just, so this means that no matter what world, like, if this is world, say you had another world called plot world, and that was using a different set of permissions, and you wanted the permissions from default, and you wanted to do inheritance, but it's not in this file, so you can't. It's not in the same file, so you can't do inheritance for this. So you would have to make another group in here, global. Make another one like this. Go see. Whoops. Again. you would make another group like that. Name this G colon, say, noob. It can be whatever you want again. And then you can have these permissions. Well, it doesn't really matter. But you can have these permissions. So then, in the other world, say plot world, like this is world. Say you were in plot world. Then you could do inheritance G colon, what was it, noob. Then it would have the permissions that are over here. Not over here. Not the permissions right here. The permissions that are over here for noob. But I don't really use that, like I said, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Yeah. That's it, I guess.
Huh?
See ya. So yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Ask any questions if you had any in the comments below. And see you next time. Bye bye.